introduce. Hello, David. Welcome to the space. And David leads global events and has trained thousands of Tao Healing Hands practitioners and master teachers worldwide. He's an author of How I Healed My Obsessive Compulsive Disorder and co-author of Greatest Forgiveness. Bring joy and peace to your life with the power of unconditional forgiveness. And boy, do we need that nowadays. And David assists people in their self-healing process and offers guidance for well-being, business, and careers, relationships, life purpose, and improving any aspect of life. It's an honor to have you, David, join us in this space today.
Thank you, Alex. It's an honor to be here with all of you, with Katrine, with Magdalena, and of course yourself.
Thank you. So I understand you have a personal journey of discovering your balance and finding a modality that you're now sharing with the world. So please share briefly about that.
Thank you, Alex. Well, around the age of 10, I started to come down with these negative thoughts. And they were little at first, like, if you don't move this way, you're going to, the other team's going to score a goal. Or, for example, if you don't do this, then something bad or what's perceived as bad is going to happen. And it progressively got worse where I started to have compulsions. And consequently, I remember this day very vividly. This girl was kidnapped off the side of the road in a town nearby me. And I'm born and raised in the San Francisco Bay Area in California. Of course, now I'm in the UK. And it was very scary. It was all over the news. She was like 1 year older than me. And so that next day I was eating an ice cream cone in this restaurant called Big Daddy's. Big Daddy's is not there anymore, but I was eating this ice cream cone and with my mom. And I turned my head, and there on the wall, right over to my left, was the police sketch of the kidnapper. And I just paralyzed. It was just like this fear just consumed me. And my mom said, like, the color in my face, dropped. I just threw away my ice cream cone and I said, Mom, I want to go home. And I lied on my bed for hours, 3 or 4 hours, clutching my stomach, and my whole life changed. And at that point, I started to have all these negative thoughts, like, you're going to be kidnapped. You're going to be kidnapped, molested, and killed. And it just progressively snowballed out of control. And I would count or touch things in the number 4 or multiple of 4. Like, I get to 400, 800. And then when you hit that magic number, whatever it is, in the 4s for me, had to be a 4. It's like the fear, the worry, the anxiety release. And so it's like you're trying to get a short-term solution, which you are, but you're creating a longer-term suffering until at age 13, a few years later, I didn't tell anyone, I was diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder, also known as OCD, which is an anxiety disorder. And eventually, I personally chose to go on medication. It had side effects. It made me tired all the time. It gave me dry mouth, so I drank lots of water and went to the bathroom, but it numbed me. And cognitive behavioral therapy was around, but it wasn't widespread at that time. And I put myself through like my own version. I didn't even know it. I just forced myself to stop counting and touching. And it was like an inner war. It really was. And after 9 months, the counting, the touching went away. A lot of the fears went away. Yet the compulsions would still, the fear, the obsessions and compulsions would continue in a different way. Like, someone would say something, I would feel disrespected. I would have an argument or a fight. And so lots of suffering continued into my 20s, also still being affected by the side effects. And I was tired of being tired. I felt like I was in an inner hell, an inner prison. I was a slave, and you don't know how to get out. And with that, I met I heard about Dr. and Master Jigong Sha, who's a world-renowned healer, teacher, humanitarian, grandmaster of Tai Chi, Qigong, Kung Fu, I Ching, Feng Shui, a doctor of traditional Chinese medicine in China and
Wow.
Canada, Western MD in China, a national calligrapher master in China. And yet I was skeptical. I was skeptical of everything. And I remember I got on the phone call. Master Sha was doing free remote healing. And I was hearing some of the wildest things I've ever heard in my point to that life, to my point at that time in my life. And I walked away from that call thinking, I'm not sure I believed everything I heard, but I know Master Sha believes everything he said. And so because of that, I continued, went to a retreat, received all kinds of Tao healing. I learned about the soul, how the soul can heal and transform your life, meditation, Qigong techniques, and the spiritual healing. And I went home, my whole life changed. I used to be an aggressive driver, the one that made people angry, swerving in and out, and that went away. My relationships changed. The way I could respond in situations changed. So I meditated. I did self-healing practice. I chanted mantras. And I did lots of forgiveness practice, a gratitude practice. And I gained these tools and techniques that 7 months later, I knew I was healed. I went to my psychiatrist. I sat down. I said, I'm healed. He just stared at me. I mean, what do you say? He stared at me for like a minute and a half. He said, tell me about it. And I did. And he agreed to take me off this medication called Anafranil. And he said, in 50% of the people who get off this medication, it never works again. And I said, I'm healed. So I got off the medication. And within 1 year of meeting my teacher, Master Sha, I was healed and off medication. I've been off over 16 years. It's like I have two lives, David with OCD, David who's been healed. I was healed of hypothyroidism, low thyroid function within a year and a half. And my endocrinologist told me, scientifically, your thyroid should have shut down and never work again because the dose of medication you're on is so high that it shouldn't work. I said, I'm healed. He said, fine, we'll take you off it, but you could be emotional and moody. I said, fine, I'll go through it. I'm healed. My T3, my T4, my blood work over these last 16 plus years have been in the medium range ever since. My psychiatrist wrote up a letter after 9 years saying how I responded to Master Sha's techniques. So with that, my whole life changed. And so I spread Dr. and Master Sha's self-healing techniques, holistic methods, to the world, and people can get incredible results.
Wow, what a journey and what a transformation.
Oh, yes, big transformation.
And it really strikes me quite powerful what you're saying about how physical these impacts can be, right? Like something happens to us as an external event, but the impact is just so visceral. And of course, we now have the science that is expanding in terms of the mind-body connection. But really, it's about managing that. That's the challenge. It's like, how do we give people tools, especially with what's going on in so many regions in the world, to cope with that? Because yes, it's a ancient survival mechanism, but sometimes in the modern world it doesn't really help, right? And it's really about coping with that. So I'm really eager to discover more about really how we can sort of transcend those the physical effects, perhaps. And you mentioned the soul as well, right? And some may believe, some may not believe in that, but I would love to find out more. What does that really mean from the perspective of Taoism, of the teachings that you share and follow? Because it seems like, if it is real and if we can somehow interact with it, then that could be really that place of inner core that we can always come back to. So I would love you to share a little bit more about what is the soul.
Beautiful. And so the soul is in spiritual terms, soul is a light being, okay? It's the essence of life, the spark of life. There's many definitions of the soul. Soul is the spirit. And quantum physics, okay, well, first of all, this book, The Power of Soul of Master Sha, it really goes into the way I just spoke right now. But this book right here, Tao Science, is bridging quantum physics and spirituality, which is very, very important. Now, in Tao Science or quantum physics, the soul is information. And the soul is as the essence or that root information in charge of our life. And so depending upon where someone comes in their background on what their concept of soul is will determine how they may relate and understand to this. And spirituality is really like quantum physics and math if you get deep enough into it. With that, I don't know if I can share a slide here. I would love to share a slide.
You should be able to.
All right. I'd love to share a slide.
You can also share the screen, the whole screen, and then if you have a file, you can bring
That's
that
what I'm going to do. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
So this diagram here will help everyone for me to explain it. In ancient Tao teaching, and we teach Tao, the ultimate source and creator. Tao is the universal laws and principles. Tao is the emptiness. Tao is the way of all life. We are not teaching Taoism here in Master Sha's teaching. Taoism is a religion. We honor everyone. Now, Shen, Qi, and Jing on the left here, these are terms used in traditional Chinese medicine and ancient Tao teaching. Shen includes soul, heart, and mind. Qi is energy. Jing is the matter. Of course, Einstein explained the relationship of energy and matter, but no one's really scientifically explained Shen or soul. And that's in the Tao Science. And so in the Tao Science teaching, Shen is information, but the soul is the warehouse of the information. Heart is the receiver of the information. Heart is also the spiritual and emotional core of life. In ancient teaching, the heart houses the mind and the soul. Mind is consciousness, and you have superficial, consciousness, subconsciousness, all kinds of consciousness. Well, the mind is the processor of information. Energy is the mover of information, and matter is the transformer of information. Now, whether you call it Shen Qi Jing, or soul, heart, mind, energy, matter, or information, energy, and matter, it's the same thing, just different terminology. And in quantum physics, they're all a vibrational field. The vibrational field contains Shen Qi Jing, or soul, heart, mind, energy, matter. And energy, matter are body. Or the field is made up of information, energy, and matter. Everyone and everything is a vibrational field. And that's what our field is made up of. And the thing is, everything, animate and inanimate, is a field. Everything has a soul, heart, mind, energy, matter, or you could say in quantum physics, information, energy, and matter. And so with that, we are creators. And we create in our thoughts, our speech, and our actions every second. We're creating positive or negative. When we're loving, caring, kind, we create positive information. If we're lying, cheating, we're harming, hurting others, we're creating negative information, and that will be stored and deposited somewhere in our soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter levels. The positive will manifest. The soul will release that information to the heart that will receive it. The heart will give it to the mind that will process it. The mind will give it to the energy that will move on it. The energy will give it to the matter and transform it into our reality. And it creates healing, transformation, success, flourishing, enlightenment in every aspect of life: health, relationships, finance, business, intelligence. The negative follows the same pathway and will manifest as well, creating challenges, disasters, pain, suffering in every aspect of life. There's no punishment. We are dealing with the creation, what we've created in our entire soul journey, in our thoughts, speech, and actions, whether we understand it or recognize it. And that soul is in the root. If you only address the matter, it's not enough, because behind that, there is energy. So, for example, if you fall and hit your elbow, you have pain. Pain is a sign of too much energy in the spaces around the cells. Well, traditional Chinese medicine will give you acupuncture, they'll give you herbs, massage to move the energy, and the blood will follow, right? The blood, when you hurt your elbow, you get bruising, swelling. That's the issue there. Now, Western medicine will give you, Advil, ibuprofen, or more. But we know about the mind, the power of the mind, mindfulness, meditation. There's hundreds of studies on the power of the mind: visualization, creativity of the mind, positive thinking, mind over matter. What we're teaching you is soul over matter, that the soul can make things happen. And by invoking that power of your soul, or the inner information of your soul, you can then heal, transform, open your heart, become more loving, caring, kind, compassion, because it's in the root. And you have to transform all levels. So if you heal the soul first, heart, mind, and body will follow. If you want to say quantum physics, transform negative information to positive information, and your whole life can change. And so that's the essence, but the root is in the soul. If you want to get a weed out of the ground, you got to go to the root. If you don't, it will grow back. Why does cancer return? Why do migraines return? Why do bad relationships in a new body return? It's like you got to get that root level out, and it's in the soul, because the soul is the boss. Or you just say quantum physics, information is the boss. And what's in your information determines your life. If you don't like your life, you got to change your inner information. Different ways to say it. I hope that made sense for you.
Wow. So that's very sort of detailed, right? We hear about the soul often in these sort of romantic and esoteric ways, but this is really structured, and it is interesting what you're saying, that there seems to be two-way communication as well between the levels.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You can think of like soul, heart, mind, like in Shen, or like information. But within the information, there's a hierarchy, right? Soul, heart, mind. If you look at a computer system, for example, right? Or an app, what's it made up of? Information. But it has energy and matter, right? If we communicate on WeChat or WhatsApp or whatever, that information in the program determines what that app can do. And so it comes and appears on an energy matter level, right? We type, it goes off to the information level, formless, it reappears. The same thing with our soul, heart, mind, and body is we're a vibrational field of information, energy, and matter. And what's in our information is what we created in our thoughts, our speech, and our actions. And so when we realize, wow, this is the way it works, you also all of a sudden realize, wow, I'm empowered to change.
And it's
Because,
not, yeah.
like you said, many people, the soul's very surreal. It's like a concept, but it's not tangible. And that's what I loved about Master Sha's teachings, was it was spiritual and it was logical.
Mm. And it seems to be all about information, right? So in the essence, it is about what, information it holds, and how we can interact with that, right? And how we can tap into that, because that's, I guess, the main point, how we can actually develop that connection.
Yeah, and here, Alex, here's an example everyone can understand. Let me make it really real. Have you ever sung a sad love song or a sad song?
Sure, yeah, of course.
How did you feel? You felt maybe sad. Have
Yeah,
you
it
ever sung
impacts
a
you, right? Yeah.
Have you ever sung a happy song?
Mm, mm.
Did you feel happy?
Right,
Well,
yeah.
we are connecting with the vibrational field of that song, which has information. If it's a sad message, we are actually bringing sadness into us, and it can make us sick. If it's a happy song, we're bringing happiness into us, and it can make us feel better. And some of those scientific studies, or whatever you're referring to, right, show how this works. I mean, they have over 600 studies on forgiveness. And for example, those that could forgive, they followed 26,000 people over what, 10 years, the study? Those that could forgive had the ability to have better health. They had less physical heart issues, less mental, less emotional issues than those that couldn't forgive, could not let it go. So when you're angry and you can't forgive, you are holding on to anger. And we know anger can cause all kinds of issues, cancer, stress, whatever. But there's a study by Harvard that they did with a hospital in Massachusetts, and they took like, I don't know, 30 people plus or minus, who never meditated. And as little as 27 minutes in the day, over 6 weeks, they showed how the brain changed. The brain reduced in the area of stress and anxiety and these emotions, and increased in the area of like creativity, compassion, and more. So it doesn't have to be complicated. People are able to change their life sooner than they may think, but not every issue resolves overnight.
Hmm. So I'd love to tap into the practical aspect of that as well in our conversation, and it would be great as well if you can share some of the practical tips and tools. And I want to also just bring that a little bit to the context that we're in right now, because it seems like, these external effects that are affecting us through the information, we hear about all of that on the news, and it seems to be impacting us, right? So, and what you're suggesting, I guess, is that we can somehow from within turn that around and actually start impacting it back in a way, right? Or at least, creating a space in our own consciousness and our own experience that is more balanced, right?
Correct. And it's simpler than many people think. And Alex, I know you studied different modalities. I can tell that you're very intelligent, and you definitely have a nice heart. I can feel your love. So your heart is open, right?
Mm.
And open-hearted people, in fact, everyone is more sensitive than they may realize. So if we watch the news and we're feeling fear, we're being affected. But here's what we have to realize. We can only experience in our life what we're quantumly entangled with, or becoming quantumly entangled in that moment. Because if it's manifesting in our life, our inner soul is entangled with it, or our information. Whether it's fear, whether it's happiness, whether it's joy, whether they're watching us right now, there's something in their vibrational field that brought them physically to that point to experience it. So even though, like you say, there's many events going on in the world, whether it's been communicable disease, whether it's famine, whether it's war, how we are responding to that is within us. right? Some people will respond to this and say, oh my gosh, it's so afraid. I'm just going to lock myself up in my room. Other people are like, my goodness, we have to go help. So it's the same information coming to us, but our inner response is different. So how can we help? Well, we need to tap into all the techniques of the soul, heart, mind, and body. Yeah. And do you want me to lead everyone in a short practice now? I mean, I can.
Well, perhaps let's explore a little bit more, and then we can
Okay.
come back to that when we actually reach the common peak with everyone else as well, who will be offering their gifts throughout the festival.
Okay.
So we really multiply that experience, because that's really the heart of everything, right? When we're able to join in that collective upliftment, right? It multiplies.
Correct.
Right. So, and I found it interesting what you were saying about, being sort of heart-based person, right? And being sensitive at the same time, right? So, would you say it's fair to say that sensitivity is one tool or one quality that allows us to tap into that deeper soul information, or that's not necessary? How does that
No, you're correct, because when you look upon like the heart as a receiver, okay, of course it gives too. Many people have closed their hearts and they don't realize it. And how does someone close their heart? Through the painful experiences they have, the trauma, the negativity, the not wanting to be hurt again. Now, when we think back to a past life event that has hurt us, if you still have that pain inside of you, you're going to feel it. And many people can do that. Like a loved one died, they get sad, or it's like a lot of pain. And what that means is there's unresolved negative blockages or information in you that you haven't processed. So through spiritual healing techniques, whether it's people pray, people chant mantras, um, people do meditation or different practices, you can access them and release it over time. Some's easier than others, okay? But, and then the heart starts to open. Now, we have to be aware, and many people don't want to feel anymore because it's too much. They're overwhelmed. The amount of information actually that's coming to them through the media, through their phone, through the computer, through whatever, it's overwhelming. So what do people do? They just shut. They become numb. And yet we have to be aware of what we're feeling, honest, recognize it, and then we need to take action to transform it if it's unpleasant. And if it's good, then we should increase it.
And it seems like it's both ways, right? If we shut ourselves out from the external world, we in a way shut ourselves out from the internal world, the deeper world. Is that fair to say?
Exactly. And so here's the thing, we can feel a vibrational field, right? Like Alex, if you just put your hands together,
All right.
do not touch. And you move your hands in a circle, and everyone on the line, you can do this. You probably would say, I feel energy, right? Can you feel that?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
Do you feel that field?
Yeah.
People actually think they're feeling energy, but they're feeling the information. They're feeling the soul, the heart, the mind, the energy, matter. Because everything has information, energy, matter, or soul, heart, mind, body. So people think they feel energy, but they're actually feeling everything. They just minds haven't realized it.
Interesting. So, and there's seems to be also a paradox in that, because when we start to feel more and we start to become more open and sensitive, in a way we're more receptive to those challenging information, challenging events that are happening. So how do we find balance in that? Because it seems like there's some kind of in a way, a disadvantage in becoming more sensitive, right?
You know, I understand your point, and what I would say is you need spiritual practice. You need practice that addresses your soul, your heart, your mind, and your body. You have to be able to process and release it in an effective way. So, you know, spiritual practice techniques, one of the things we teach is soul power. You can call it information power. And we teach it in two ways. One, you talk to yourself. Many people have negative self talk. My back's a disaster. My back's killing me. You're sending a dark, negative message that's actually creating more of what you don't want. Versus, I love my back. My back is healthy. My back is healing. So we teach you to invoke your self-healing power on a soul level or an information level to do what you want it to do. If you ask your child, can you take the trash out? They may say yes, but guess what? They may not do it right away. But if you say, can you do it now? They're more likely to do it. So we invoke the self-healing power. And the second aspect is we connect to the universe in your belief system. And I want to be clear, we're not a religion. If you believe in Tao, you can connect to Tao. You believe in Buddha, Jesus, Shiva, Krishna, connect to them. If you believe in the sun, the moon, go ahead. Mother Earth, go ahead. But everything has a field, and a higher vibrational field can transform a lower vibrational field. That's physics. So when you receive their light, their frequency, their vibration, you can heal. Like people go to healing sites around the world, whether it's a special water place or a special temple or mountain or the desert, to do what? To heal. Why? It has a higher vibrational field. What is a mantra? A mantra is a spiritual gathering tool to bring frequency and vibration, to bring a higher vibrational field. When you have more people meditating together, you can think of it like one person meditating is one light bulb in the room. 500 is like 500 light bulbs. If you get the whole world meditating, you got the whole world light bulbs, and that will change the consciousness of humanity because that higher vibrational field will come and bring healing and transformation. And that's what some of those scientific studies of group meditation or group positive thinking has shown us.
So it seems like the answer, in a way, or at least parts of the answer, is when we become more sensitive and therefore also prone to picking up those external effects that aren't necessarily desirable, we infuse ourselves with more of that deeper core and the soul, right? And the information of the soul. And once we infuse with that, we kind of, I guess, become more, well, not necessarily immune, but I guess more masterful at managing that and holding our balance.
Exactly. Right? Because we need that conscious, dedicated practice to be able to live it in the real world. So if everyone's going to make mistakes, Alex, some people say, I don't believe in mistakes. Fine. But most people will be negative at some point. Anger, complain, whatever. What do? You created something negative. Dear Tao, dear Source, dear whatever you believe in. I'm sorry, please forgive me. On the soul level, dear Alex, please forgive me. I love you. Let it go. Because that's a positive message transforming a negative. And so then, you just release. Like I do forgiveness practice and gratitude practice in the morning, right? I say prayers, I do it, I chant, I align myself, and then I do it in the evening as well. And I do it in my practice because love, forgiveness, compassion, light is wisdom. It's knowledge, it's practice, and it's how you counteract or you get less effective. You have to have a peaceful heart. And it's a mastery like anything. Like if you go to the gym, you don't expect to lose 20 kilos in 1 week and be like, oh, forget it, it didn't work, right? Like, no. You become a good mom just because you had a baby? No, it's through the practice. You become a good lawyer because you got a law degree? No, it's through the practice. So the practice helps you to live your life, and the practice changes your way you think, speak, and act. Because if you're repeating just as a mantra, love, 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 or forgiveness, 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 or an ancient mantra like Om Mani Padme Hum, you are changing your consciousness. You're changing your field. So when you're interacting, you have a different experience.
Mm.
And if you are affected, what do? You go do spiritual practice and clean yourself out.
Makes sense. Seems pretty practical, and with clear kind of steps, with where to start and how to evolve that. And perhaps we can, before we move into the practical aspect, then just go through the layers of that, right? So much of what you do and what in the center and personally is about physical healing, right? But it's also about relationships, about our human interactions. And how do you see perhaps then on the ultimate level it can have impacts on societal or even global scale? So if you could run us through these
Yeah. So, at the Master Sha Tao Center, I'm in the one in London. We have 12 around the world. We work for everything: health, emotions, mind stuff, self-love, self-worth issues, can't find your true love, relationship issues, finance issues, business issues. And one thing we need to realize is we need to change ourselves. Like Gandhi said, be the change in the world you wish to see. You need to change that information in your field, because we're a part of a collective vibrational field. If all we say is you change, you change, you change, you change, no, who's going to change? We already know in relationships that doesn't work. Can you just change? Why do people do that? What I have found is people do that because they don't have the tools to manage their own anger, their own depression, their own anxiety. And so they want someone else to behave in a certain way so they're not triggered, versus being empowered to change themselves, heal themselves. Now, as a collective consciousness, it's actually can be quite simple. We can actually invite all souls who want to join us to chant, because that soul is the root level. The soul is the boss. When we die, our soul goes on. That soul could say, yes, I want to chant with you, Alex. That soul can say, oh, no, I'm not interested today. I'm busy. People say souls are like that. Yes, souls have free will. We have free will. And we have a choice to love, forgive, have compassion. And some people realize, but my soul is pure. So, in my personal opinion, souls were created pure, but that soul carries the positive and negative. And there are people that do not forgive. They say, even look how many divorces, and they just fight to the bitter end. And even after divorce, they fight. Where's the forgiveness? Oh, but my soul forgive. If you do not forgive, you affect your soul. So the people who don't forgive have the souls that carry that unforgiveness, and it affects their whole vibrational field. And we are given free will. The Tao source creates, but does not control, gives everyone free will. We're here to learn. So we can invite all souls to come chant with us. If that soul chants with us, what happens? You saw it will flow to the heart, mind, energy, and matter over time. I have students, they have done forgiveness practice on a soul level. They didn't talk to their mom, their dad, the loved one for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. They do forgiveness practice, just like if we were talking. But you just call the soul, dear the soul of my mom, I love you. I'm so sorry for that fight we had years ago, yada, 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 whatever the people want to say, and all our lifetimes of issues. I forgive you. Please forgive me. All of a sudden, they're talking on the phone like nothing's ever happened. I mean, in the greatest forgiveness book, this is an Amazon bestseller by Master Sha, Cynthia Devereaux, and myself. Anyone, you can get this on Amazon. This teaches you how to do forgiveness. And so whenever you do to the soul first, it will follow in the rest of the aspect of life. And of course, Alex, when we can have more people meditating together, like what you're doing here, we have more people practicing together consciously, it will get even more powerful. Because now it's not just the soul, you have the heart, the mind, and the body with you. And so the world needs to bring the positivity. And people say, really, how can chanting change the world? Right? If people's inner information changes, the negative transforms to the positive, the way they think, the way they speak, the way they act will naturally change automatically. And to go back to a heart-based person, I give you an example. A mind-based person will get in the room and people will behave better because they don't want to get in trouble. They don't want to upset the person. Okay, they use these, okay, these are the rules, follow it. A heart-based person walks into the people room, they radiate the love, the care, the kindness. People just behave better automatically because they bring a higher vibrational field. Look at Mother Teresa. She's a great example. When you bring such like a holy being, people behave better. Or, any saint or guru, right? When they're truly the true one, people behave better.
And it seems from what you're saying that there could be some kind of amplification of that effect at the group level, would you say? Because I guess we also sort of have feedback loops from each other, even on a sort of regular level of our being, right? Like we see and get inspired, but also I guess it goes deeper than that. We probably have multiplied effects on the information level as well somehow, would you say?
We are in the quantum field, and whatever we think, say, and do goes out to the universe will be multiplied, blessed, and returned. That's a quantum physics and a spiritual way to say it. We are entangled. If I think of you and I send you love, that love message comes to you. The same thing if I think something negative, and I'm not going to do that, Alex, I think you're great, but that comes to you. If someone's sitting next to you and they're angry, can you not feel it? If they're happy, can you not feel it? Even if they didn't speak it out. So if the world is practicing more love, care, kindness, and their conflict comes up, what do? They say, oh, I need to forgive. Let's work together. Versus war.
Well, I think this is a wonderful transition to really, I guess, step into the practical aspect. And really, I invite everyone who is either live or tuning in later on to join us and to experience this, because I would imagine it's in the experience, not just in the observation, that where the effects are. So share with us a bit what this is going to be that you will be sharing with us, and what people should expect, and how long they could expect it to be.
Beautiful. I'm going to lead people through a simple practice, and they can focus on one issue, either health or relationship, emotion, whatever they want to focus on. Let's make it practical for them. Secondly, I'm going to guide you to speak to yourself, to invoke your own self-healing and transformation power, as well as connect to the universe and whatever you personally believe in yourself. We're going to visualize something simple, golden light, and we will do a powerful practice. I also will offer a Tao Healing Hands blessing for anyone who wishes to receive for your one request. It will work one time, no matter how many times you replay it. If you love the blessing, you can come find us. You can come find us. I believe Alex will post a link where you can find us here, the mastershaddaocenter.co.uk. Also, we have a free masterclass for you, and Alex will post that link. Soulfulness, I believe .com. Soulfulness. And with that, it's a very powerful and simple practice we're going to do. And it will allow you to be empowered to transform your life. And I will work some forgiveness in there. And you don't have to logically understand everything. It's like, do you understand how the plane fully works? Or your phone, your mobile phone? Do you understand even how your plumbing fully works? Some of you will say, yes, yes, yes. I'm like, no, I don't need to. I just know it works. The same is true for spiritual practice, healing practice. Okay? So everyone, at the same time, I will guide you in the practice as well to visualize positive intentions for the whole world. So close your eyes, put one hand below your navel, and you can put the other hand on a part of the body that you need healing, self-healing, knee, elbow, head. Or if you can't reach it, put it on the heart. If you want to choose a relationship, put it on the heart. Close your eyes and breathe in your natural pace. And I want you to visualize golden light coming from the universe from 360 degrees, all around you, to your whole body, through your whole body, to your area of your request. And I want you to feel that area on a 0 to 10 scale, 0 being no pain, 10 being the worst pain. It could be a physical pain, it could be emotional pain, it could be traumatic. Just put a number to it, right? If it's a relationship and it's painful, you may feel that. People feel the pain in a relationship. If it's physical pain, it's very clear. You have your 0 and 10, 10 the worst, 0 none. You're very clear. You can put a number. Relax your head. Relax your face. Relax your jaw. Relax your shoulders. You can even raise your shoulders and drop them. Yeah? Relax your chest, your upper back, middle back, your lower back, your shoulders, your arms, your hands, your chest, your abdomen. Relax. Relax your hips, your legs, your knees, your ankles, your feet, your toes. Relax head to toe, skin to bone. Take a deep breath. Visualize the golden light coming in. On the exhale, visualize blockages leaving. Blockages is just dark gray. Continue to breathe in. And I want you to say hello to yourself. Soul power, information power. Dear the soul, heart, mind, and body of, you can say my heart, my knee, my unbalanced emotion of anger or fear, or the relationship with, say their name. And really from your heart and sincerity, you say, I love you. You have the power to heal and transform yourself. You have the power to bring balance and harmony to yourself. Do a good job. Thank you. You've just invoked your self-healing power on an information or soul level. Now in your system, whatever it is, dear the soul, heart, mind, and body of Tao, maybe it's divine or Shiva, maybe it's Lao Tzu, maybe it's Jesus, maybe it's the Holy Spirit, Pele, Saint Germain, whatever you believe in, heaven, Mother Earth, you choose. Maybe it's the universe, perfect. I love, honor, and appreciate you. Will you please heal and transform my, say the same request. will you please bring balance and harmony to it? I'm very grateful. Thank you. Dear the soul, heart, mind, and body of everyone and everything connected to my whatever issue you're working on or the relationship, I love you. I sincerely apologize and ask for your forgiveness for all the mistakes I have made against you. Please forgive me, and I unconditionally forgive you. Let us bring love, peace, and harmony. Let us bring balance, light to our relationship. Thank you. We've invoked the outer, outside of our body, soul power, information power. Continue to visualize the light and washing your heart, your knee, or your relationship. Exhale the blockages. And we're just going to repeat greatest love, greatest forgiveness, greatest balance and harmony, and then I'll guide you further. Close your eyes fully open. Greatest love, greatest forgiveness, greatest balance and harmony. Let it all go. Greatest love, greatest forgiveness, greatest balance and harmony. 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 Really use your heart. Give your love, forgiveness, balance and harmony. Let it go. Greatest love, greatest forgiveness, greatest balance and harmony. 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 Now forget yourself. Visualize the whole world in golden light. Continue to repeat. Greatest love, greatest forgiveness, greatest balance and harmony. Greatest love, greatest forgiveness, greatest balance and harmony. Greatest love, greatest forgiveness, greatest balance and harmony. You can say, dear the souls of humanity, dear Mother Earth, everything on Mother Earth, I love you. I invite you to chant with me if you wish to do so. Thank you. Greatest love, greatest forgiveness, greatest balance and harmony, greatest love, greatest forgiveness, greatest balance and harmony, greatest love, greatest forgiveness, greatest balance and harmony, greatest love, greatest forgiveness, greatest balance and harmony. Let it all go. See the whole world in golden light. Greatest love, greatest forgiveness, greatest balance and harmony, 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 greatest love, greatest forgiveness, greatest balance and harmony. And now, if you wish to receive, I will offer you a one-time Tao Healing Hands blessing for your request, physical, mental, emotional, relationship, whatever you were working on. Continue to repeat the mantra, Tao Healing Hands blessing for your one request as appropriate. Starts. Fully open, receive. This is Tao feel, frequency, vibration, love and light come to you. Higher vibration to wash your request. Continue to repeat. Greatest love, greatest forgiveness, greatest balance and harmony. 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 Open your soul, heart, mind, body. Let it go. We are doing a practice, self-healing, service. Now, Tao Healing Hands, bless your request. Train thousands of practitioners around the world. Greatest love, greatest forgiveness, greatest balance and harmony. 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 And now silent for about 1 minute. Tao Healing Hands blessing ends. Practice ends. Let us put our hands together. We say thank you, thank you, thank you. Everyone open your eyes, move your body around, come back, smile from your heart and soul, share your love and light.
Thank you, David. That was powerful, and it reminds me what you said at the beginning, right, about Master when you met him. It's like you don't know if what you're saying is true, but he for sure believes it, right? And really, I don't know how, but I felt the impact, right? So, and that's what he also, mentioned. Like, we don't have to always know what the ins and outs and the mechanism is, as long as it really works. And I loved how you also brought forgiveness in, because sometimes it's challenging to love ourselves, and because we are aware of all the shortcomings and the things that we think we should not have done, or how we should be different. And then forgiveness really brings that ease and lightness, and it kind of releases something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was powerful.
Forgiveness lets it go, because here's the thing: when we don't forgive, it's like, think of it like every time we don't forgive or forgive others, it's like we put a little dark mark in our organ, in our cells, and it affects us. And then when we do forgiveness, it's like we release it. We just let that go, and then you feel better, and the cellular vibration changes. And for the very mind oriented people, the people that want proof and science, we actually have 18 clinically based research studies in hospitals and universities that have been presented in 29 medical conferences, symposiums and more around the world. So we're actually very serious as well that it does work.
Mm. So that's done by the center as well, or with participation of the center somehow?
That's done by the Shaw Research Foundation. Go to shawresearchfoundation.com. And those studies are actually monitored by NRBs. They were approved by the FDA in America and other government boards in different countries. So yeah, they're actually very clinically based studies.
Powerful. So yeah, because we require that proof nowadays. People want that confirmation, and it's so great that it's there. And I would love to perhaps share it as well on our channels afterwards. So it would be great to look that up later on. So maybe we can exchange that later.
But here's we can. Here's the thing about proof. It's like people have meditated for thousands of years, right? And now we're just scientifically proving it works. Or
Right.
traditional Chinese medicine, right? They've taught for 5,000 years the connection between the emotional body and the mind, right? Like here's like this chart of the 5 elements, right? You probably can't see it too well, but traditional Chinese medicine in that book, Tao Calligraphy Healing Field. But they already told us the connection between the emotional body and the mind, and it affects our health. And yet, and now Western society is accepting acupuncture as a technique and herbs. But they've done it for 5,000 years. They've already been saying this. Human beings do not do something for 5,000 years if it doesn't work. Would you do something for a day if it didn't work?
Right.
So there has to be also this logical common sense, right? Do we need to do scientific studies on how to have babies? So there's also just something innate within us we have to acknowledge.
I came across some recent scientific studies on the benefits of hugging, right? So it's not like we didn't hug and now everyone is going to start because there's proof, right? It's
exactly. And there are benefits of hugging. I read some stuff about that too.
Right, exactly. Wow, thank you. So I want to just acknowledge as well, in terms of the practice, I found it really great in terms of being able to do independently, right? It's like you don't need someone necessarily to do it for you, right? Or to you. You can actually drop into that space and go through those affirmations. And it's also because, as we discussed, soul is it's information. So we can arrange words in different ways, and that's going to match different information. So, there's a particular, obviously, sequence and order and choice of words here that you've offered that anyone can really borrow and integrate into their life and in their practice. So I really love that aspect. So thank
And
you.
it's flexible. And let me just give something really common people can identify with. When you're experiencing negativity, whatever it's called, you are in resonation with a negative vibrational field. When you're experiencing the positivity, whatever it's called, love, happiness, joy, whatever, you're in resonation with a positive vibrational field. So, how do you get out of the negative to the positive? You need to connect with the positive. And that's what a mantra or a practice can do. It shifts you from the negative to the positive.
Mm. And that's what we've experienced, right?
And yes, and then you'll feel better.
Right, right, exactly. Thank you so much, David, for joining us today and sharing this wisdom and this practice with us. And on the screens, everyone can see your websites. Perhaps you can briefly say in a few words, what can they find in each of those? How are they different?
So at the Master Sha Dao Center.co.uk, you will find the center in London and you'll find me. So if you're interested in connecting more with me or other teachers, you can. There's complimentary events on Tuesday and Wednesday every week. Of course, there's some registered feed events as well. I do personal consultations. I've worked with thousands of people around the world. So if they're interested in connecting with me, or they want to learn more about what they just experienced here in a more event-based way, go there. Experience.soulfulness.com is part of our global offering to the world through all centers, through everything we do. And it's really about doing practice. I think there's hundreds, I don't know what the number is right now, 500, 600, 700 people who are joining together daily in this program. And they are practicing and healing and transforming. There's a complimentary master class. And if you want to go further, you want to join on an ongoing base, there's a nominal fee. But everyone can get the free master class as well and learn more there as well. And so it's a very powerful experience. If some people, they just want to practice, but they want to come together in a group to create that higher vibrational field. And in that practice, there's these Tao calligraphies like you see behind me. There's a teacher leading, Monday to Friday. It's just a very powerful experience. And when you're in a higher vibrational field, you release more negativity, you increase your positivity faster. The power of the group effect and what's all there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So once again, it was a joy to share the space here with you. And thank you for sharing your wisdom and gifts. Much appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you, Alex. It's been beautiful to be here with you and everyone.
Much appreciated. Thank you. Yeah. All right. So this concludes our third Global Unity Festival Wave 2. So join us, look out for the offerings for the next month. And we'll be introducing the hosts that will be offering their gifts on different stages. So we look forward to welcoming everyone again on the 3rd of April.